everyone, I'm Heather. And I'm back today for the very first book haul I've done since 2021 when I put myself on this massive ban that was going to change my life. And it did. It did change my life. It completely changed my book buying habits, put them fully under control. However, in the last month, maybe, I've sort of spiraled. A couple things. Karen from Roving Reader, she came to visit me. We did a bit of book buying, obviously, as you do. And then my life sort of got on top of me. I got a bit worried about stuff, a bit anxious, a bit overwhelmed, and then made a relapse into bookstore therapy, which is something I haven't done in a couple of years, but I'm back, apparently. Also, I see it as now not ending because I'm going to America on Wednesday, going home to Seattle to visit family, and that's usually also very bad for the book buying. And if I don't sit on it now, it's going to get out of control like it was 2 years ago. So this book haul is going to be me laying out my full shame, okay, the full shame spiral book buying problem that I've gotten myself into for like this month. And I'm hoping, like first step coming into like, an addiction, like first step being to acknowledge the problem. Okay, and I'm going to lay it all out for you. I'm going to lay out the problem. Also, there's some good shit in here, so maybe you want to see too because they're good. Then, maybe this is the first step toward not losing my mind with the book buying in America coming up. Do you see my thoughts? Do you see my thought process? Okay, so, oh, hold on. Like, my life is out of control. I have no time for anything. Like, everything has got on top of me, and I don't have time for anything. Like, I think, as a side note, for the America thing, I'm going to do some vlogging. Like, maybe pick some books and read the books and do the stuff. I think if, like, I don't have enough time for booktube and for living my life, maybe I can, like, merge them and make the booktube videos just while I'm living my life, like vlogging. I think that's what I do best, so I think I'm gonna get on that. But for the minute, I look a mess because I went running and didn't have time to do anything. Is this gonna make me feel cute? That's cute. That's okay. That's done something. I feel like if I'm not wearing earrings, so I look a bit like a man. Do you find that? I think it's my shoulders. Also, I've got really big ears and like really big nose, just like my dad. And I find like if I'm not wearing like ear studs or like something cute like a bow or something, I look basically like my dad, which can be a problem since I'm not a man. Oh shit. Fuck, where'd it go? Oh, fuck, I lost it. Oh, fuck it, it's fine. Like a bit of a zhuzh, bit of a boost. Fuck it, it's fine. Moving on. So the number of books that I bought this month, or if I'm being real with myself and not delusional and lying to myself, is more like in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a push, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 books. It's 11 books, which for some people ain't bad, okay? But for me, who has kept her book buying under control for a really long time, that's definitely signaling for me that I'm in like some sort of shame spiral and I need to chill out. Also, I can see a danger zone here. Like I'm entering the danger zone where, if it's 11 books, what's one more? What's 10 more? What's 45 more? But some of these are really good. Like I'm really excited about them, and they're all shorties. All of them, every single one of them. So if you're gonna do Shorty September, which, like, I think to be fair, I at least stuck to a theme, okay? I was like, don't buy it unless it's a shorty because you're gonna want shorties for Shorty September. So I bought accidentally 11 shorties. But when Shorty September rolls around, I feel like you and I will both benefit mutually. Okay, the first one is More Than Color by Alan Warner. Can you see that, or is it blurry? I have to change my camera. Hold on, how's that? Is that good? Ah, that's brilliant. Okay, so More Than Color by Alan Warner. Ages ago, Sian and Bert had a 90s book club, and for the 90s book club, they read this one of the months they did it, and one of the only months that I couldn't actually participate in the run of that book club was the month they read this one. I was like busy, or I don't know what happened. Anyway, this one, everyone read it, everyone loved it. It's like, I think, quirky, like cult classic-y sort of 90s situation going on, which is fully my vibe. So I was pissed off I didn't get to do it. But then I sort of forgot about it, as I do. And then recently, Alan Warner has released this new book which is a novella, which is part of this series of like Scottish history books I like. So like in the series, each author writes a novella that's sort of like a fictionalized account of one part of Scottish history, and the one that he's done is based on the Battle of Culloden, which is like, you know, 18th century like Jacobite Rising stuff. If you read or watch Outlander, you understand the allure, friends. But I got that one, super excited, and then I realized Alan Warner, same guy, also did this one, and that not only did he do this one, but this is a shorty. It's like 204 pages, can be used for Shorty September. Also, there's a book and a movie, so it can be part of that prompt for Shorty September, which is half and half shorts where you read the book and then watch the movie. So this one, I don't really know what it's about, but I think basically it's this woman, she's like a young woman, like early 20s. Her boyfriend kills himself in her kitchen, or she like finds him dead. She finds that he's killed himself like the next day or whatever. And then something I think about her reaction, like her reaction to that is unexpected, and she sort of goes about in the world after this event. I don't know. I'll let you know what it's about, but I'm super excited about it anyway. Anyone read it? Anyone give me any like any more info? Or maybe I shouldn't have the info. Maybe like it's supposed to be surprised. I don't know. I'll leave it up to your judgment. Next one, Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. So I've read a couple by T. Kingfisher. I read like this author does loads of different kinds of books. So I read one horror book by this author, and then also one like YA sort of fantasy type book. And then there's this other one which I don't think is YA. I think it's just like regular adult, but it is fantasy. I think it's sort of fairy tales retold. So you've got a person who's stolen by fairies and goes and lives in fairyland, and then is asked by the fairies to return to the human world when they're older, to sort of like do some sort of task. And it's over the course of like centuries, I think, like this character lives for centuries or whatever, like protecting some sort of like curse or some sort of like magical whatever. Anyway, it seems silly, but it's really short, and also I'm super into that kind of thing. This is one of the books that I bought when I was spiraling and needed to like go to the bookstore to like be among the books and calm myself, you know. And this is sort of like the perfect sort of thing when I'm like emotionally spiraling. Okay, next one is Such Small Hands by Andres Barber. So this was translated from Spanish, and I think it's horror, okay, like creepy horror, which is my favorite kind of horror. I don't like slashes and stuff like that, but creepy ones I get into. And it's about this girl is in an orphanage, and it's like, you know, but Marina's not like the other girls, you know, like that kind of creepy. But what gets me and makes me nervous a little bit is that Susan Hill, the author, says Such Small Hands is more than just a scary story. This is so much worse. And I think back, the only time I've ever been completely unable to sleep because of a book I read, like not just like can't get to sleep and is scared to sleep or whatever, but literally goes a whole night without sleeping at all, was when I read Susan Hill's Woman in Black. So if she's saying that this is like worse than like a scary story, and she's like literally the author of my nightmares, I feel like this could be more than I can handle. But I'm gonna do it anyway, because it's really small, and also sometimes that's just the kind of mood you're in. Okay, next one, To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. I really like Becky Chambers. Like if you've read the ones with like the Tea Monk, you know, like those novellas that are like take place in the future where like, I don't know, it's like post-capitalist, you know, like that. And also there's another one like Small Friendly Planet or Small Angry Planet or something like that, where it's like sci-fi. That one's quite good as well. And I think this one is similar vein, sci-fi. This woman goes into space and she does like space explorations or whatever, and now I think she's got to like write down her travels or whatever to send it back to Earth, or she's going back to Earth now or something like that. Anyway, sci-fi. Next one, The Missing Chapter, Dracula's Guest by Bram Stoker. So Dracula, brilliant. I love Dracula, like the original, you know, 19th century Dracula. Brilliant, love it. But this apparently, so his widow Florence, like after he died, she sort of like published this, and she said she sort of collected it amongst his papers and his stories and things, and said that he intended before he died for it to be like an opener to Dracula, like a sort of like missing chapter at the beginning. And I found this in Hay on Wye, like in this bookstore that's just like mystery books and like thrillers and like horror and stuff like that, called Murder and Mayhem. Next one is a book of poems, which I feel like you could see it as cheating, a book of poems, because it's obviously going to be short. You know, does it count as Shorty September? I feel like it does, so I'm allowing it. But the title, so it looks like Pukahangatus, but I swear I saw somewhere on the internet or something that it's actually called Pocahontas, okay? But now looking at it again, that sounds not right. And like it's something stupid that I've just made up in my mind. But what a weird thing to make up in my own mind, that this is Pocahontas. Like I wouldn't have made that up. I think there is somewhere on the internet where it says that this is actually called Pocahontas, even though it doesn't look like that. But I'll Google it again just to make sure. And I know nothing about this collection or about the poet Tay Tibble. Holy crap, I need to Google that as well. I apologize if I've just completely fucked that. But I know nothing about her and nothing about her poems. Literally the only reason I have it is because I read the back, and the back sounds brilliant. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Charts a thrilling course between Greek and Maori mythology, sugar daddies, and the Kardashians. At once a high camp narration of teenage womanhood and a dazzling exploration of the spaces between modernity and ancestry, desire and exploitation. This book announces the presence of a surpassingly daring new poet. Like that just sounds amazing. I feel like if these poems aren't amazing, the person who wrote the back should get some sort of award for tricking me into thinking this is going to be amazing. That's brilliant. That's a work of art, that. Honestly. So, The Furthest Station by Ben Aronovich. This is part of the series of novels that are like the Rivers of London series, and it's basically about this like junior police officer in London who accidentally stumbles onto some weird shit, and it turns out it's like magic and shit. And so like his like innate ability to sort of like recognize or like deal with these weird magical things has him sort of like recruited by this guy who's part of this like hidden department in the police in London for dealing with magical shit, and he's like a wizard, and he's like really old or whatever. So now you've got this like junior police officer who's like really modern, like really sort of like down to earth and like a really normal guy working with all these like really old sort of like magical dudes and magical creatures and stuff to like solve magical crimes. And it'll sort of be like something will happen with the police and they'll be like, ooh, we need to call in like these people or whatever. And then he shows up and they're like really wary of him because they know that he's part of the like weird shit division, you know, like he's like, and none of them want to like ask really direct questions like, was this aliens or whatever. They just sort of like look at him and sort of be like, is this or is this not part of your weird shit division? Can you clarify? Anyway, it's really funny. I really like that character. Like, I think he's one of my favorite characters ever. Anyway, I've read like 5 or 6 of them already, and this is now a novella that's part of it. So it's like, it's not number 5 in the series or number 6 in the series. I think it's like number 5.5. Do you know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. But I found it a hey, and I'm definitely down for making it about a Shorty Sept because I fucking love this. Okay, Goosebumps, The Ghost Next Door by R.L. Stine. Like, this is, yeah, it's a child's book. This is a children's book, okay? And I'm not gonna lie to you about that, and I feel like I don't need your judgment, okay? But I'm excited about it. Like, who doesn't love a Goosebumps book? You know, I loved it when I was a kid. I love it now. I think I'm gonna use it for mom shorts, the prompt that's like to do with a comfort read, because there's just something very comforting about reading a book you could have read when you were a kid, you know, if you'd gotten to that part of the series yet. Okay, 3 more. What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. Again, with T. Kingfisher, okay? I think this one is actually a horror. So the other one was a very unassuming, lovely fantasy, okay? And this one, I'm pretty sure is scary as shit. Oh yeah, it's like based on like The Fall of the House of Usher, whatever that book, you know, which I've not read, but which I wouldn't mind reading, I think. It's about, I think, like a haunted house, and like these 2 people who come into the house to like investigate why like the kids in the house are so affected by this like house, you know. Madeline sleepwalks and speaks in strange voices. Her brother Roderick is consumed with a mysterious malady of the nerves, like that sort of thing. So yeah, super creepy. Cassandra Cole, who wrote a book I read recently about like really scary mermaids, she has put in a little blurb for the back, so that tells me a little bit of something about the scariness of it. Okay, this one is Below by Laurel Hightower. I can't remember where I heard about this book. I heard about it somewhere, like maybe NPR's like Book Concierge or something, but somebody gave this a glowing review. Something about a woman who's stranded in the middle of nowhere in her car. Like her car breaks down literally in the middle of nowhere, and she meets this like truck driver guy or whatever. And then there's like a creature, like a spooky creature, like a red-eyed, like dangerous, like really creepy creature. and she's, I think, gotta like, I don't know, they have to encounter the creature together, but there might be something up with the truck driver as well. I don't know, it's really short, and like I like the sort of layout of the book, you know, like this. It's sort of like laid out like an old school like gas station book, you know, like a book you find sort of just randomly on a rack at the gas station. I think it's gonna be really cute. And by cute, I do mean horrifying. So there's that. Last one, The Thin Man by Dashiell Hammett. So this is definitely a modern classic. It was written, I think, in the 30s. Yeah, 1934. And it's like the original like private eye story. So this guy, he's like a former detective, and he thinks he's out of the game. He thinks he's retired. But then some crap happens. Like I think one of his friends is like convicted of something, like a murder or something, and he's got to sort of like pull him out of the shitter. By sort of solving it himself, you know? Yeah, it's set among the speakeasies of early 1930s Manhattan. The Thin Man is hard-boiled crime at its wisecracking best. Ah, that's a good one to end on, that one. That one's gonna be good. I'm excited. Like, it looks a bit thicker than the rest of them, but it is also, you know, like smaller in size, and it is only 222 pages, which I feel is only slightly a stretch for a shorty. I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for a modern classic prompt. Brilliant. Okay, I'm gonna show you my shame now, like just in a fully, like a full stack. Okay, like when you put them all together like this, 11 short books, it looks worse than it is, honestly. Like this isn't bad. You know, this could be so much worse, but I feel like, you know, we're being strong. Okay, we're accepting the problem now, and we're working to nip it in the bud before it gets out of control. Like, I'm proud of us. Okay, I think we're doing really good. But if you have any thoughts about these, if you see any in here that you're super excited about or super not excited about, or you've read before or want to read, please let me know. Any similar ones which you think I also might like the world runs on book recommendations, friends. Like any you want to throw my way would be awesome. And I will see you now, hopefully, this is my plan, see you now next week following my trip home to Seattle, where I will have, hopefully, vlogged, okay, which is the best use of my time, like booktube wise. Yeah, if you have any thoughts about that as well, like if you're like tired of my vlogs, which tend to be sometimes very long and talk a little bit too much about poop, if you have thoughts about that, it's good for me to know that going forward. And yeah, any questions, any thoughts? What are you reading? How's things going? Are you well? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next week. Bye.